I'm obsessed with raglans. So this is the first one that I made, and I showed this before, and I'm now working on my fourth, essentially. I'm so obsessed with how easily it works up from the top down, and I've gone way off the original pattern and have changed things up quite a lot. So this is the original one I did using a pattern, and I love it. It's wonderful. There's just a few tweaks that I made that work better with kind of some of my preferences and the way that I like to crochet. So the second one I have here, it doesn't have sleeves yet, but I'm going to compare kind of the differences between the two. The third one that I made used an entirely different yarn, but the same kind of style choices that I made with this one for the most part. That was the green and yellow one I made for my mom's birthday. And then the fourth one is an entirely different beast. So to start with is the style of the neck and the cuffs. The original pattern did a chain and then slip stitch back, and so it works around like this. This one, see, is quite different. The cables look a little bit thicker, and the color works from the actually from the top down. So in the blue you'll get the striping going around, but in this style you'll get the striping up. So it follows the same striping pattern that the rest of the garment will. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing is on this one I added a detail just on the yoke part right here. You can kind of see there are little X's, and then it goes into double crochets on the lower part to get a little bit more coverage. So that was just something I was playing around with. And then the other major difference I made was on the blue one, and this might just be a my technique kind of thing, but you can see here from the armpits up, you can see where I did the chain 3s and then did double crochets. And it's on the back of the sweater, and it's not that obvious, especially if I have my hair down, but I wanted to avoid that. Can you leave the neighbors alone? Hey. So on this one, I did just a continuous circle. I didn't slip stitch and chain. The first time I came to a round, I did a half double into the first chain from the last row, and then from there on I just did in a circle double crochets all the way. So there's no line from that. It just gives a more smooth overall look. I also did some decreases in the row right before the bottom cuff. I don't know how obvious it is, but it goes in a little bit at the bottom so that you get that sweater kind of tighter at the bottom, and then a little bit of a little volume. So yeah, that was some of the differences there. I found, especially without having to do the chains, I don't know, for me, it's easier to just get lost in it mindlessly and go around and around. Would you stop, please? And then the next one I'm working on, she's so pretty, but she has been an absolute pain in the neck. My hook is still in here. Let me just pull this out a little bit so it doesn't. So this is just the yoke at this point, but I've given it a really pretty lacy pattern across the top and continued down the sleeves. And then again, for a bit more coverage from the bust down, it's all double crochets. So the plan is that it's going to be a mostly solid sweater with this pretty lace on the top and lacy sleeves. So I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. But when I just need to mindlessly crochet, and I'm doing something like this where I have to change up what pattern I'm doing, like which row pattern I'm doing on a constant basis, the number of times I've had to frog everything. It's so frustrating, but I think it's gonna be so pretty in the end. So yeah, follow along. I'll show you the end results, and if you want more information on how to make a crocheted raglan, let me know in the comments and I could maybe do a bit of a tutorial. Thanks.